Hey everybody, welcome to this B1 English listening practice video. You can use this video to practice your listening and comprehension as I speak. Before we start, remember to subscribe to the channel, click on the bell, and follow us on Instagram. You ready? So today I'm going to talk about teenager. This is a really relevant topic because all of us was teenager once. Or if you're really young, you'll be a teenager at some point. We're going to talk about some of the good things in being a teenager and some of the not so good things. Before we get the coin, let's kick things up with the pro. The first positive thing about being teenager is that you are on the way becoming adult. This going without saying, but kids normally dream about being grown up. As a kid, I constantly daydream about what life was going to be as an adult. Of course, as a teenager, you're not quite there yet, but you can see it's approaching. Adulthood starts to seem like a reality. It's not some distant future idea. It's pretty exciting, right? Another cool thing about being a teenager is learning new things. A kid, a lot of concept or idea being beyond your grasp, but we get a little older. We start to understand these things. For example, teenagers can delve deeper into subjects like economics, business, sociology, and ton of other things. I remember that thing starting learning about government and politics during my teenager years. I also remember the writing skill improved a lot when I was at that age, and even now when I look back at some of my old writing, I don't find it bad. How about you? Do you feel like learning a lot as teenager? Other positive thing that results from adolescence is that you get stronger physically. To be honest, this is one of my favorite things about getting older. I started hitting the weights when I was about 16 and I become obsessed with working out. This is a phase that a lot of teenagers go through during their last couple years of high school. I was fascinated by the fact that they were able to relieve more weights and I couldn't get bigger and stronger. This every boy dream, right? Now that I'm not that big and strong anymore, and I can find the motivation to do the workout a few times a week. Okay, more positive thing about being a teenager is that you can start driving. Of course, in most countries you can't ride until you're about 18 or so, but in the US you can get your license when you're 16. And not only that, but you can also get your driving permit when you're only 15 and a half, just like I did. When you have your permit, you're allowed to drive with your parents in the car, which is still cool considering the fact that you're not even 16 yet. One of the most memorable days in my young was the first day I drove for school in my old car after I got my license. I thought I was the coolest kid in the world. Alright, let's talk briefly about a few of the negative aspects of being a teenager. First and foremost, puberty. Anyone who has gone through puberty knows that most of the time it's not fun. Your body changes, your voice changes, and one of the things changes. And for me, the absolute worst part of the puberty were having ants. I'm sure a lot of you has and or still have it. I still have ants even though I'm a full grown man. This is definitely one of the most annoying things about puberty. Another negative thing about being a teenager is academic pressure. When you were high school, everyone tells you that this is the most important year, academically speaking. If you don't get good grade and if you don't get a good score in the standardized test, you can't get into a good college. Teenagers are well aware of this, and it can take a ton of them. One last thing that could be a negative for most teenagers is figuring out what they want to do in life. Many adolescents have no idea what kind of career they want because they haven't really had any experience working in any field. I changed my mind a few times about what I want to do, and many of my friends did too. It can be stressful for teenagers to do things about this stuff. Okay, now I'm going to ask you 3 questions about today's video to check your comprehension. Write your answer in the comment down below. 1. How old were I when I started going to the gym? 2. At what age can you get your driver's license in the US? 3. What happens if you get a bad grade in the high school? See you next time.